Welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary.
Good morning, well, good afternoon now. How y'all doing? Welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary here on Unpopular Reviews. I'm here with my guy Mad Dog Kelly.
Hi there.
The Z is silent, is not with us this afternoon. You know, he had to probably take care of some business. But me and Matt, we're gonna hold it down and talk some Smackdown.
We will. What a very good show last night. Very, very good. I enjoyed last night's show. First time in a while, honestly.
Yeah, it was real good. It was.
All of it was good. I'll tell you that. Some of it I did not care for. But we'll get into it here. So, yeah.
Clearly, it was in Chicago. You know.
I mean, like I was telling you before we started, they mentioned that once, twice, 3 times. No, they mentioned it 10,000 times.
Yeah, right.
We're in Chicago. We get it. You're in CM Punk's hometown. We get it. Enough is enough. I mean, how many more times can they say, we're in Chicago, we're back live from Chicago, where CM Punk is from? I mean, they probably said his name like over 1,000 times, Vic, and when they did, it's like, I need to drop a quarter into a bucket because, you know, I'll be a millionaire because they said his name so much last night.
You know what, though? I don't know if there's any other superstar that has this level of city representation, because
I agree. Yeah. I absolutely agree with you.
I don't really think there's anybody that, like, you have the entire city like come out for them like that. And mind you, it has always been like that for CM Punk. Even back
right.
When he beat John Cena for the title at Money in the Bank and all of Chicago, you know what I mean? Like, he has this connection with the people of Chicago. And I don't know if it's just that he promotes it very well or anything like that, but like, I just don't see that with anybody else. You know?
I mean, the only person I ever see it with is maybe John Cena up in Boston. You know, he'll get, you know, when he was, you know, a baby face, not now, obviously, they're booing the living shit out of him. But, you know, when they were, he was very big in Boston. And same thing with Sasha Banks. She got a very big pop in Boston when she was on WWE, now AEW. But, you know, she also, but yeah, currently on this roster, I agree with you. I don't think there's anybody else unless they're overseas. And then, you know, Glasgow, I know Drew McIntyre, they got a pop for him. I know that's a huge
yeah,
thing.
but it's different though. It's different.
And they got a big pop in St. Louis a couple weeks ago when they went there. Remember, we reviewed that show together, I believe. So
that's true. But you know, like the only other person I've ever seen get something like this is like Ric Flair in North Carolina.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that
kind of thing. Like
even his daughter gets this type of reaction, you know, in her home, you know, town or state or whatever it is. So
I mean, like, look, up here, Selena Vega and Damian Priest don't get that kind of pop.
I mean, in New York, you're right, but MSG, yeah, they'll pop for Priest. I've been there as I told you, a couple times, and you know, Selena Vega, I saw her, and you know, Priest, he was supposed to be there, he got canceled, but you know, when they did, you know, I was watching the MSG Raw, and he got a huge reaction. So I think New York, yeah, but that's the New York crowd, though. You know it, I know it. That's just. New York goes nuts for anything, you know. You could put Austin Theory out there, and they'll still boo the shit out of him and get a reaction. So, or Logan Paul, who I also saw there, and trust me, we were all booing the shit out of him too. So.
No, but Logan Paul should even get pops in Cleveland. He doesn't, you know. Which is
not at all. He gets a bigger pop in New York than Cleveland. It's crazy.
But anyway, like speaking about CM Punk. He pretty much opened the show just thanking everybody like he was retiring, which was great because you know I mean, which I was speaking to, where he connects with the fans in Chicago. So you know that whole thing was cool. But then right after that, Paul Heyman comes out And it's also a testament to Paul Heyman because he has just his whole ECW stick.
Yes.
And CM Punk was just like, you can't
it.
escape it. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. And I felt like that whole thing was pretty cool.
I mean, Paul Heyman is a national treasure, and I just want to bring something up as an ECW fan. When they started chanting that, and then CM Punk just started cracking up and went with it, and he started chanting ECW, Paul Heyman's face was just kind of like my face is now. He kind of was just like, like the biggest grin on his face, and he just kind of looked like, oh man, so. I really thought that was a special moment they shared in the ring together, and they've had a lot of great moments over the years. After the show, I decided to go back and watch some of the stuff they've done over the years, and they've done some great stuff together. So
they really have. Really have.
But yeah, this was a great segment to open
the other thing I liked was when he took the camera and he had some terrible camera work.
Yeah,
it just kind of showed like how much he loves his city.
Man, he loves Chicago, and Chicago loves him. Last night, I think there were only 213 tickets available to the show. It was a complete sellout. I think it was around 16 or 17,000 there last night. It was incredible. Like you said, man, they show up no matter what.
And mind you, Chicago
city or company. I mean, he's in, company.
I mean, but
he's in AEW, they'll show up. WWE, he'll show up.
And here's the thing about that: like Chicago, New York, and LA are the cities that are spoiled when it comes to wrestling. Like
almost definitely, absolutely.
Like what's all in and everything in Chicago, like everything that's happened in Chicago, well, at least in the past 10 years. Like the wrestling fans there are super spoiled. So like, a lot of people usually would just treat this like any other show, but no, they pretty much almost sold out, which was amazing. But anyway, leading to this segment, they basically went back and forth, and Paul Heyman was just trying to get the favor out of him already. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
Like, what the hell? And CM Punk is just
I'll
tell you when he's here. I'll tell you when he's here. I'll tell you to his face.
I like the segment. Don't forget, we are now 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, so that is just kind of crazy to think how time's just flying by, and these Smackdowns are flying by too. But yeah, I really like the way Punk and Heyman sold this off. They really sold it really well, and getting the fan, like you said, the fan reaction was really made this whole segment. I feel like it made this whole show. Some of it they were into, some of it they were not. I know we're gonna get into all of it, but this they were really into it, and I made me get really into it. And I told you I didn't care for this build at all, but now I'm starting to care a little bit more because just the reaction from the crowd. It really does depend. Remember, we were discussing that last time I was here on how the crowds can make or break the show. Last night they made the show, so
they really did. And mind you, that's saying a lot for an American crowd, because a lot of American crowds now are just like vanilla compared to the Europeans.
Absolutely.
So, I thought that was interesting. But after that, we certainly got a treat. Something that the internet wrestling community has been talking about for a long
time. I didn't think I know where you're going.
For a long time. And that is Ray Phoenix.
Yes.
Ray Phoenix comes in. Ray Phoenix has his
debut happy about this, man.
In WWE.
So happy.
It
was so cool, man. So cool. Just his entrance, his everything, the persona, the pop. I mean, once again, Chicago sold me on him. And I was really afraid, when was he gonna show up? When was he gonna? I'm actually really happy it was Chicago. You know what I mean? And the crowd was.
I thought it was brilliant booking. I thought it was brilliant booking to put him in Chicago because, like I said before,
Yep.
Chicago is spoiled. So Ray Phoenix is somebody that's not foreign to them. You know what I mean? Ray Phoenix has done a lot of shit in Chicago.
Look, they everyone in Chicago knows. Because CM Punk was in AEW too at one point. So everyone knows Ray Phoenix came from AEW to here, just like his brother Penta. And I'm telling you as well, the Nathan Frazier booking, even our own bad guy Jack, shout out to him. He said last night he's a perfect opponent to go up against Ray Phoenix. And I agree 100%. It was great booking on both their parts. I really enjoyed this match.
They had a good match.
One of the highlights of the night for sure.
They did, and then mind you, and his little promo after the fact. I actually was waiting for Penta to come out.
Yeah, here's the deal from what I've read online, right? I've read that they're trying to keep the two separate for now. And now maybe that will change come draft time. I know WWE's playing a draft the end of April after WrestleMania. They might do a draft. Maybe they will put these two together in the tag team to go up against the Street Profits. I'm hoping that will happen because there's not many tag teams to go up against the Street Profits at the moment. I can't really think of that many besides, I think, the Motor City Machine Guns, and I think there's a couple others, and I know the whatever bloodline, whatever they're calling themselves, I think one of them's hurt still. So, I'm hoping they do bring them together, but right now they're singles competitors. I think, and especially if Penta ends up winning that whatever triple threat, fatal four-way, whatever they're gonna do with the IC title. I'm really interested to see if they're gonna keep him single or put him with his brother. I don't know.
I would love to see them together, but it's probably
same. I would love to see them put on a banger with the Street Profits. I think them versus the Profits would be a great Mania match, but I don't think they're gonna
it's too
do
soon
it.
for that. Maybe SummerSlam.
Yeah. Maybe SummerSlam. I know that's coming up by us in August, so maybe. But because like I said, I think Penta's gonna win the IC title. I know they're gonna do something with that. I think. But I think he might win that. So, but if he does, they're gonna keep him a single star. They're not gonna push him with his brother. But this was great, and honestly, I asked everybody in the group chat last night what did they think about this brand new merchandise, because WWE selling the mask now. I'm not sure if you're aware they're selling the mask. They're selling the shirts, and trust me, it's selling out. The mask actually sold out right now. You can't get one, and I believe on eBay, I was actually looking up this morning, they're going for like $300-400. So yeah,
I mean, that's one of the smartest things that luchadors could do, because you know how many different variants a Rey Mysterio mask comes in.
Tons, right? Over the years. I think he had a special one with Eddie Guerrero when they won the tag titles. There's all types of different ones, right?
Mind you, here's the funny thing. If you go into a Mexican neighborhood, you'll find a store that just sells all these different products. And you will find a Rey Mysterio mask.
Yeah, that's really cool.
A Rey Mysterio mask in there.
It just shows how big he is. Yeah.
Yes, but when Ray Phoenix and Penta will do the same, because the style of their mask doesn't necessarily change, but the colors may change and all of that, but the style of the mask,
they're talented, man. No matter what you can say, both of them are talented as all hell. So like I said, they're not great on the mic, and I honestly don't even think Rey Mysterio is that great on the mic, but the wrestling skills really make up for that.
You know what the thing with that is just that I think it's hard when you're translating in your head.
Right.
Asuka has this as a CEO.
Asuka plays into it though, you know what I mean? She'll make it funny to where she'll get the crowd into it, so where it's like it looks like she's just screaming, but she's actually saying words.
But what I'm saying is it's just that like they're not gonna cut a promo like Becky Lynch.
No.
To Americans, an Irish accent is charming.
No, I agree with you.
Like if they ever did a show in Mexico and then all of a sudden they
I've
started
heard the
speaking.
rumors they might, man. I've been
You know,
hearing big
if
rumors they might
if
do that.
that ever happens, we'll
This
see.
year, by the way, and I told you earlier when I was on your show previously, man, they might get Bad Bunny involved. They get Bad Bunny. Ho, ho, ho. He was the one who dropped that, and it was the Billboard, and then everyone's like, he's like, it's not happening. Now I think that they're like in the like finalization of it
You see,
happening.
now
So
I was having a conversation about that earlier. What I'm trying to figure out is, why they never go to Mexico. Like, I'm very curious.
it could be the passport thing. I know that's a big deal with a lot of them. The visas here that high cap or some of that things, and they're just yeah. I mean, I guess I feel like it's the street profits are kind of highly on but yes, the thing is I feel like it's a visa thing, man, because a lot of these guys they get stuck all over the place. I think they had a problem. Which one was it? It was one of those bloodline guys. It was stuck up in Canada for a really long time. Was it Jacob? It might have been Jacob. I don't remember, but
he's got a pass.
he got stuck up in Canada and they wanted to use him really, really bad. So Triple H had to make a deal with the Canadian government. And they actually got him into the WWE to show up, for whatever it's called for whatever PLE was going on at the time. I think it was going into War Games, I think, but yeah,
yes, it probably was that.
but man, I'm telling you right now, Mexico is going to be awesome when they go there this year. Hopefully, everyone's got their passports and they all can go because it's going to be awesome no matter what. I think.
We'll see. Well, anyway, next is a filler match, in my opinion. LA Knight and Tonga.
Yeah, I'll do the
Yeah. I mean, I'm starting to notice that his LA Knight's allure is starting to sizzle out.
Yes.
Because they didn't.
He's champion, right? He's a champion,
but because they kind of popped for him, but then not a full pop until they said yeah. I noticed that the first time he did his little pointing thing, nobody responded. Because usually he goes like this, and then everybody just does it. Right, but nobody said anything.
He's getting old, man. It really is. Here's the thing. He's not changing anything. He's not even changing his look. He's still walking in and out with the sunglasses and all like, oh, yeah, I'm big time. I feel like he's just getting a strong push from Triple H because Triple H plays his favorites and LA Knight's one of his favorites. He's always been. So, that's kind of how I feel about it. There's no really other way I feel about him.
LA Knight is good. And I just don't know what it is because I don't think his gimmick is bad. The thing is fine, but like you say, like it is getting old. And
well, I mean, it's been done to death. I mean, when you do something done to death like this, it's getting, it gets very stale after a while. That's kind of what they did with Roman. You know what I mean? Like they did it with Roman. It got very stale. They had to switch it up and he became tribal chief and that worked out very well. Totally. So I don't know. Maybe they should turn him heel, maybe. I mean, that's kind of the thing. Doesn't look like they're going to do that. Looks like they're going to keep babyface, but it would be interesting to see him go heel.
And you know what I find interesting about all of this too? Jacob, not Jacob. The Solo is
Sikoa, right? Yeah.
Solo Sikoa is like starting to become a jobber again. Like,
isn't he? I agree with you.
I feel like they elevated him, and then they don't know what to do with him now because he's giving giving jobber vibes. Like,
this is the thing. They have so many guys on this roster. I think I was telling you this last time too. And, feel free to chime in wherever you want here. But here's the deal. They have so many people on this roster. And I don't know if you heard the other day, I reported on my segment. I also said in the group chat, they're adding 3 more people back to this company already. I'm not sure if Paige is coming back. Rusev and Aleister Black.
Okay.
So that's 2 guys and 1 girl. Okay, we can include it, but that's 2 more guys for them to possibly go up against Solo. That's 2 more guys to go up against LA Knight. Whatever they want to do with these guys, I don't know. But Rusev and Aleister are coming back to the company. Now, I feel like they have so many people already in this company where they really don't need Rusev or they don't need Aleister Black. But Triple H wants these guys back because he wants to capitalize. So, but yeah, I kind of agree with you. Solo's becoming a bit of a jobber right now. And you know what? They don't know what to do with them. That's because they got too many people all over the place. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel you.
It's all over. So
that's how over LA Knight. He should have been the main champion. I mean, he should have been a champion a while ago. I thought they were going in that direction when he fought Roman Reigns.
Same. I thought they were going to give it to him, and then all of a sudden Roman retained.
You know, let's see.
Look, they only wanted Roman's, title. I just want to jump that out here too, just to break the record. Okay, they were so sick of Hogan. I don't care for Hogan at all. But they were so sick of his record, they wanted to update it. So they gave it to Roman Reigns for like 3-4 years almost, and he holds the title now for the modern day of the longest champion or whatever. You know what I mean?
Nobody cares about that anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely, and that's why they should have just went with LA Knight. They were really, really building him, and it was getting really behind. The fans were behind him. I was behind him at the time. It was a really big thing, and then they just make him a mid-card. What's up, Jeffrey? A mid-card champion. I'm sorry, that's what the U.S. title is. It's, unless you're Chelsea freaking Green, and he's not, obviously, it's a mid-card title. Now, Chelsea turned the mid-card title into a real championship, and I'm happy about that. But
no, I if they're trying to stretch out LA Knight like as long as possible by giving him the mid-card title and then trying to, then fine. But he's just giving. He's unfortunately, like, I don't know what it is, but there's a part of him that's just, it feels stone cold. And I think that's the problem because it doesn't feel original.
Like a ripoff, you mean? It
feels like a stone cold. It feels like a stone cold ripoff. A lot of
I feel like that's what he was trying to go for in the beginning, and still is. I think he's trying to go for that, and he's not. Steve Austin. So I don't think.
And the thing is,
that reaction. I agree.
The thing that bothers me the most about it is just that, he's got really good mic skills.
He does, absolutely. He roasted Roman Reigns' ass, and the only thing Roman Reigns came back with is he's a redneck hillbilly cosplayer. It's the only good line Roman ever came up with. And they're all 3 months of them feuding. It was a long feud those guys. So
it was, and it was a good one too.
It was. I think even their match in Rumble was great.
I think that they could do a lot with them. You know what I mean? But anyway,
they would never put Roman in mid-card. So LA Knight would need to win the championship to even get that, because they'll never give the U.S. title to Roman Reigns. That would just be silly. He's a main eventer.
At this point, that was like maybe 8-9 years ago that he was a U.S. champion.
I think all 3 of the Shield guys were. Dean was, Roman was, and I believe Seth was at one point.
Yep.
Really crazy.
Yeah, back when Seth was a double champ. Remember that?
Yes, I do. I do remember that. That was wild.
Well,
didn't he fight Sting one of those times? He fought Sting.
I think so.
Champion. That's what Sting got hurt really bad.
Yep. Moving on. This was one of the spiciest moments of the night right here.
Okay.
Which was quite.
Oh my God, man! This has everybody talk. I'm sure you're aware this has got everybody talking in the internet wrestling community, bro. Everybody is either bitching, liking this, or literally complaining about this. This actually got a reaction real quick. So not to interrupt or anything, but this got a reaction from Ludwig Kaiser. I said his first name wrong. Sorry about that.
Oh, it did. I didn't realize that.
He got a reaction, and he said, "Don't even go there." He said, "Don't even," he goes, "No, don't even go there." That's what he said this morning. So,
mind you, I've never seen this kind of drama with
apparently they went off script too. WrestleVote said they end up going off script for most of this segment. So I heard WWE was really afraid backstage on what they were going to say because there was a script. They didn't follow it. They went off. So I don't know what was scripted or not, but a lot of the reports say this morning, a lot of it was, just off the top of their heads. So,
you know what though? Honestly, I think the outcome is going to be really good because the thing is, I personally think that Charlotte Flair is going to win this match.
Yep.
And just become this mega heel. And
absolutely.
I think that this right here is like the catalyst to that. I thought it was great because it pretty much ended with a big question mark as to was this real? Was this a work? Was this what's going on? I mean, especially when Charlotte was just like, Ludwig's in my DMs. You know what I mean?
I like the part where, Tiffany said you're 0-3 right now, and she brought up the divorce. She brought up Andrade, and that was like, wow. Like, she actually cooked him because a couple weeks ago, Charlotte cooked her big time. So when, Tiffany said, so about your divorces, you're 0-3 in that one. You might be all this champion, but you're 0-3 in relationships. And it's funny because she was just on a talk show. I think it was our own David or Mike or somebody in our group chat posted a whole thing about, maybe I don't remember what it was, but somebody posted a whole thing about, Charlotte on this talk show. She went on one of these talk shows breaking down the relationship. She was in a bad state of mind, all this stuff, right? And now, Tiffany brings the talk show thing up, and then she goes further into it. So I thought it was very smart on her behalf, and it makes it believable that she might even retain this title. But I agree. I don't think she's going to. I think Charlotte will win. But, I do think that this segment is just everyone's up in arms about it because everyone said,
but you know what?
It was trash. I mean,
you know what though?
Everyone doesn't like it.
I think that's what's going to make the match, honestly.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I think that this is one of the things where people are going to pay attention to this match because prior to this, I think that everybody was probably looking at it like, oh, this is going to be the most predictable match of the night. Charlotte clearly is going to win, things like that. But even if Charlotte is going to win, I think that the heat between them right now is going to make the match a show stealer. I really think this match right now is going to be a big thing because, like, everybody's talking about the words that were said.
Yeah, right? Absolutely, man. Yes, sir.
And then the thing is that last week, Charlotte cooked the hell out of Tiffany. Like, she really
was that last week, or I thought it was a couple weeks ago. Okay, all right. Because I thought it was in that interview, right? There was that interview she did. I thought that's when.
Exactly. And now this week,
last week too. I don't remember last.
And then this week, like, Charlotte couldn't even talk.
That was because once again the Chicago audience. Let's talk about that for a second. Glad you brought that up. The Chicago audience made this segment more than they did, right? Because they were booing the hell out of her, just like they booed the hell out of Dominic Mysterio. And they booed the hell out of Dominic Mysterio. So, they were booing the hell out of Charlotte, so she couldn't get 2 words in. And it makes you believe that all the fans are on Tiffany's side.
That's why I think it's by design, because if Tiffany loses, then it's like a punch in the gut to everybody. Like,
right.
Basically they're setting it up like nobody wants to see Charlotte win. And if Charlotte wins, then she has the title that everybody wants to take off of her. And then Charlotte could just continue to keep talking that shit. And
I'm wondering if they're gonna bring Bailey into the picture for that. I'm wondering if
I don't
they might
think
even
so.
bring Becky into that, because Becky needs to come back at some point.
Well, I mean, like, look,
So
Becky comes back and then takes it.
those two always
Charlotte.
have great matches, Becky and
Exactly.
Charlotte. So I could definitely see it not main eventing, but be on SummerSlam for sure if Becky
See,
comes back.
look what Shay says. I need Tiffany to lose after last night just to piss everyone off. Yeah, look at that. See what I mean? I really
agree,
think that that's
yeah.
I really think that this match is going to become polarizing. You know what I mean? Like,
I just
yeah,
hope it
people
doesn't
care
get
about this match.
overshadowed, but by everything else on the card. There's so much on the card. I hope this doesn't get overshadowed because I think this will be a good match. Becky's
Really?
gonna be on Raw. Oh yeah, well,
Oh,
okay,
wow.
we'll see. Then
That's
if that's the
interesting.
case, then maybe she'll go after Bianca, Io, or Rhea, depending on who
That
wins
is
that
interesting.
match. So. But yeah, this segment
They
was
kept talking over each other like children. That's true. See, that's one of the. You're absolutely right, and that's what made it seem so real, especially at the end.
great.
Because like I've never heard, because like you see how Kevin Owens put on Naomi's shirt to face Jey Uso. I mean, Jey Uso.
Yeah,
You know what
he
I mean?
always does
It's
that.
just like
Yeah,
no, but like the digs like that to your spouse are subtle. Or like CM Punk says, "Oh, Becky Lynch, come get your man." You know what I mean?
yeah.
But for Tiffany to just be like, "Oh, haha, you're divorced and you've been divorced 3 times," and then for Charlotte to be like, "Why is Ludwig in my DMs?" Like, I don't think
That
their
line was
relationship.
fantastic.
I don't think that the relationship between Tiffany Stratton and Ludwig Kaiser has ever been like everybody knows about it, but it's never been like talked about. You know what I
Right, they
mean?
keep it very private, but dude, you'll see
Mhm.
them all the time on red carpets. Like I see all the
Exactly.
time her and him on red carpets. He's wearing the sunglasses. She looks, just gorgeous with the title everywhere. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they're all over the freaking place. I see it all
Now,
the
mind
time
you,
my feed. So it's just But I
I
agree.
love this
They try and
comment.
keep it very private. So
I love this comment because I completely agree. I
yeah,
at first I
that's
thought Tiffany Stratton was going to be over, and to be honest with you, I think that Charlotte is doing everything in her power to try to get Tiffany over. That's why Tiffany
yeah,
can't win this match.
right, yeah.
If she, because here's the thing, like Tiffany's great in the ring. I personally think she sucks on the mic if she's being a babyface. If she's a heel,
Yeah.
I think she's a much better heel than as a babyface.
Yeah,
I think she just needs some
I
practice as
don't
a
think she
babyface.
feels. Here's the thing: you have to be comfortable enough to do it. This is one of the greatest things. I'm glad you brought this point up, Vic, because with the John Cena thing, right? Triple H said John Cena wanted to do it because he felt comfortable to do it now, and he's earned the right to play heel now. You know what I mean? Tiffany
Mhm.
Stratton is not comfortable with the heel. You see the same thing with Naomi, also being that heel kind of a character. And I even feel like, with the Bianca thing too, they want her to be a heel and it's not working. And I feel like it's uncomfortable for you to be a heel because she's also a baby face. In this case, other instance around, right? It's actually, she was a heel and flipped to baby face, and it's not working. Kind of like the other instances I just brought up a second ago. But you get my point, hopefully, about how sometimes they have to be comfortable in doing it, and this time she's just not comfortable as a baby face. It feels very forced.
It does feel very forced. It does, and like you could tell that sometimes Tiffany forgets her lines. You can see, there's just certain.
And that's when Charlotte has to go step in. Kind of like what happened last night when they both went off script. So
But you could see it in Charlotte's face.
oh yeah, isn't that
She was
great?
pissed.
That's the Thanos face, like you said, man. That's like the Thanos,
She was
face. The evil
pissed.
villain.
She was definitely pissed. Like this is right here was something else.
You know what it
You know what I mean?
reminds me like Doctor Strange with Scarlet Witch, man, when she was all pissed off at everything about her kids. Remember that? I don't know if you've seen Strange too, but she was all pissed off that she didn't have her kids, whatever. So she went all, like batshit crazy. It's kind of this. And I love it. I really do love it. I want more of it. I can't wait for the match.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want more
totally.
of it. I
I'm
want
very
more
curious to
Charlotte
see.
go
I mean,
there.
I definitely think Charlotte's gonna win.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
that's business, but this match is
Real
gonna be
match
good.
has been mid. I agree, Fernando. It has
It's
been
gonna,
mid. Except
it's
for
gonna be
the
good.
time Charlotte cooks Tiffany.
So now next we go into the tag team. So like
Yay! Cap
Street
said
Profits
there's a
came
lot
out
of them, but
first.
I don't care for any of them except for the Street Profits.
Yeah, Street Profits came out first, shining.
Because
Shining and
they
profiling.
want the smoke, I had to go there. I had to say that. I was doing that anyway. Continue.
So like after so many times that DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns have faced each other, I mean, yes, they have good matches, but people don't necessarily care about it anymore. So that, I mean,
It's
in my opinion,
getting
there isn't much
stale
to say.
again. It's getting old. We've seen the same
Mhm.
things. It's the same thing they used to do with who the hell was it? It was the Usos and somebody else. That's all we saw for months. Vic was Usos and somebody else. It was the same. I forget the other tag team, but it was
The
just
New
the
Day,
Usos,
probably.
and I did think it was, and it was just week after week after week, same shit, same. It just
Also, like
drove
when
me nuts.
it
Because
might,
the Usos didn't deserve that, by the way, man. They're way better tag team.
I agree.
Than New Day. So they
No,
did
but
not deserve that. And these are just filler magics. They have nothing else going on. So
facts.
film with DIY or the DYI with the whatever the hell they call themselves. And who were they facing? Was this Motor City Machine Guns? I don't even know
Yep.
anymore. Yeah. And I don't never cared about them neither. So
Yeah, that's the thing. Just it was mainly only people in the indies and
yes.
TNA and things like that. But
This is why, man, they need the I hate to say it, but this is so freaking true. They need the Hardys back, bro. And the Hardys are, in TNA right now. They showed up on NXT. I personally believe they need the Hardys back in here. Or get the Usos back together. That's not going to happen because Jay's going to end up beating Gunther. So they're going to keep them separate. Or, like I said, get fake bloodline, get them back together. Or, like I was saying, put, Ray Phoenix and Penta together and throw them in the tag titles. I don't think that's going to happen. But, I would like to. I would like to because, there's not many in there. Just bring the Hardys back, man.
well, I mean, like they're
Hey,
known.
man, I love the Hardys. Okay, I know they've had some problems over the years with drugs and this, that, and the other. I know, but you can't argue their in-ring work. Even when they were on NXT Roadblock, it was a freaking amazing match. I actually went to go see Mickey 17 that night. My brother, I came back halfway through Roadblock. That match was going on, and what a banger it was, man! Holy shit! Wow. So, but yeah, man,
Well,
I didn't, I want them back.
now, moving on now. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. I love how Naomi's in her Owen Hart, going in with her Owen Hart, because damn, like
Yes,
every week.
she's, it's another thing, bro. She's not comfortable. Did you see that last night? We were just speaking about Tiffany she's not comfortable playing the heel. You could tell big time, bro. I mean, maybe you can't. I don't know, but I saw it. I feel it. I've known.
You
We
can see it in
talked
her
about
face.
last time when I was on the show. She just can't pull it
she's
off.
got a
She's
good
trying so hard to do it, though. You feel me? Like,
I personally think that she's doing a much better job than she did the first
I agree.
time. And she was in
She's
Team
getting
Back.
more used to it, but at the same time, she's not there yet. Yeah.
Because, like, B-Fab clearly did a job last night.
Yeah.
Like, you know, which is always nice to see B-Fab do something,
Yes,
you
yes.
know.
I
But
always liked B-Fab. I always
you know,
thought she was talented.
I think
Hey,
that
bro.
I think that Naomi's facial expressions are getting better.
Yeah.
As far as like as playing the heel and doing
Yes.
all of that.
Yes.
And you know, I think it's working out. I mean, I love her gear,
So
and
that
you know,
means if she's a heel, that means Jade's a baby face. It really didn't
yeah,
look
of
like
course.
that when Jade came out and beat the living
See,
shit out of her, but
now
to me it feels weird because Jade was a heel for a while and now she is babyface again. To me, it just feels a little weird when she was a heel in AEW for so long, man. I don't know if you
yes.
ever watched, but she
Mm,
was like for 2 or 3 years, she just was
mm.
solid heel, and they did that in the beginning, and now she's huge babyface.
Yeah, but she
So
was like a Roman Reigns type heel. Like she was just
right,
so hot that everybody was just like mesmerized by her,
right.
you know, and her physique and all of that. You know,
No, I agree with that. Yeah, yeah. So
now
when they made her babyface, it actually worked out better. But to me, it just felt so weird to see it. It feels really weird to see it, I should say. But I love this, by the way, the caution tape again. Just so awesome of her to do that
you know
again.
what?
Um,
I kind of agree. This story
I
is better
agree. I agree.
with me in Charlotte
100%.
because it's
100%.
got a lot more history. It has a lot more,
It does.
you know, they're a lot more
It's got more
connected.
mystery to it too, man. You know what I mean? There's a lot of mystery about it. Oh, who attacked who and the whole thing. There was a whole mystique about the whole thing about this whole build. It's probably one of my favorite builds of this WrestleMania, to be honest with you.
That's true. I mean, like, you know, this is actually great for Jade Cargill. You
She's
know what I
getting a
mean?
big rub, bro. She's getting a
She's
big
got
rub from my
she's
Naomi, and dude, does she need it? Vic, she needs the biggest
yeah.
rub in the world because fans, we talked about it last time when I was on the show. You remember correct? They're not popping for her the way they should be. And even in Chicago, she got a nice reaction last night, but it was Chicago. But if you go anywhere else besides Chicago, LA, or New York, she's not
Nah,
gonna get that big
when
reaction.
she was
So
overseas, she didn't get that kind of reaction.
right.
She didn't
Remember
get
we
that. I
talked
mean, but
about it last week.
Chicago.
Yes.
But then the thing is like one thing that Charlotte said, like, you know, some of the smartest wrestling fans in the world, um, you know, everybody knows who Jade Cargill is in Chicago.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh no,
So
absolutely. Remember, she was in AEW. She was in
yeah.
All Out there. She was in All In there. She was
Mhm.
all over the place on Chicago there. People know who Jade is, and I'm so happy they gave her the reaction she did when she came out and beat up Naomi. And look what she's wearing too. It's so cool. It kind of looks like kind of like Black Widow vibes. You know what I mean? Like kind of
Right.
like she's like an Avenger.
Yep. She's always given Halle Berry Storm like
Yeah,
yeah.
that too. I always like that too. One of my favorite X-Men, of all of them.
So now we got to move on to a sad part, and I personally hope
Oh
it's a
man,
work.
this sucked, man.
I
This was
I
so hard to watch, bro.
I personally hope that it's a work. To be
Oh
honest with
no,
you,
at this point, no.
I
When
really
I
really
read
do.
this morning, bro, they said there's MRIs involved and doctors, and he could be out for like almost a year. So. Now, of course, that came from the Observer, and as you know, they're trash. But from what they got from WWE last night, because they asked about it, they
Mhm.
said it's going to take a really long time because he needs to rehabilitate himself too. It's not just
Mhm.
1, 2, 3. I mean, look, it took my back 2 years to make me sit in this shit right now and do our show.
Wow.
So
Damn, that's
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
sad.
If this is true, if it's true, I don't know. But no, it's not a work because you would see Randy's face. If it was a work, Kevin would never have dropped his whole persona.
Well,
And that's
no,
what I was telling Mike
see,
last night.
now the thing with that is just that um just Randy Orton giving
His face. His whole facial expressions
No,
were
not just that, but also the RKO after the fact.
to
You know
Nick
what I mean?
Aldis. Yeah.
So like I don't know if this is like part of the story or something like that.
I think they're
And here's the
changing
thing,
the
like
story. You know,
I
that guy said it last night. They're changing the story to Randy and Nick Aldis, which would be
okay.
interesting, man, because Nick Aldis, I don't think he's fought in a really long time.
I mean, he's a former
So
NWA champion for
I
a really
remember
long
that. Yep.
time. So
Yep.
like you know, I'd be surprised by that if they try to put Nick Aldis
I
out of
mean, the only
nowhere.
other people I can think of is they bring Alistair in early, which I thought they were going to do after Mania, or they bring Rusev in early. I mean, who else do they got for him now? I mean, they have so many other people all over the place. Kevin
I mean,
Owens was supposed to be the guy, now he's not.
to do a 2-week build. See now,
Yeah,
the other thing with that is that I wouldn't put it past Kevin Owens to totally lie
right.
and then just come out of nowhere and kick Randy Orton's out. You know what I mean? Like I would not put it past him. And I mind you, and I'm just saying as his character in general. Like, you know what I mean?
You know, yes, I agree with you. A lot of people are thinking it's a swerve, it's a dupe, but same time,
I mean,
you
I'm
know,
hoping.
WWE loves to keep. I'm just gonna say this from the news perspective because you know I'm their news guy here at UPR. Um, Here's the deal: they love to keep injuries a secret as much as they can. This, he even said, you know, WWE let me say all this. I don't think this is fake. I think this is 100% real because I know if this was a fake, Kevin would have done something to Randy that would have done, you know what I mean? He would have done something. Randy didn't even touch him, you know. So, you know, to me, this feels genuine, man, because WWE does not let their guys talk about injuries like this. In this great detail, by the way, with the MRIs, with all this. And if this is a great swerve, this is probably one of the best ones in the history of WWE because I didn't see this one coming, but this feels really true. You know,
I was wondering about that too, Jeff.
Yeah.
That whole cutaway, like he stepped to somebody, like he was pissed, and then all of a sudden they cut the camera off and just focused on Randy. I'm actually curious to see what happened with that too, because that was quite interesting, you know. But I mean, but yeah, like he came out in his Finn Balor stuff, his Bret Hart shirt,
that's
and
Hitman, right?
He came out like as a fan, and
that's because Kevin Owens, man, we talked about last time. He is the ultimate fan, you know.
he is. Look, he's wearing a Finn Balor shirt and like
I know.
And a Bret Hart hoodie. Like,
I mean,
even though he does that all the time, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, like this right here. And then the other thing with this, the other reason why I think it might be a work is because Randy Orton also has neck issues.
Right.
I wouldn't put it past Kevin Owens to like, you know, be faking because like this whole time, because mind you, Randy Orton was hurt.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Owens like tried to end his career with that neck with that power bomb that fucks up your neck. And
well, we're gonna have to see, man, if he's on the next show or not. That's really gonna depend because if he's off the show, let's say Kevin Owens doesn't even show up next week to SmackDown, that's 100% real. You know what I mean? And if they start building Randy and all this, I think that's where it's gonna go. I think our own bad guy Jack is correct. I think that's where this is gonna go, bro, because I'm telling you, this felt so genuine. And if it is a dupe, he sold me on it 100%. But like I said, man, do you know what these guys talk about injuries like this extensive? And I feel like he wouldn't have dropped character unless it was some sort of believable way. But the way Randy sold it up, the way they pointed to the WrestleMania side makes me believe it might be a swerve in the back of my mind. But also, it feels too real. It feels too genuine because WWE hates to talk about, injuries. You know what I mean? Like,
But then the other thing is that, look at Randy's face here. This is heel Randy Orton.
This is
Yeah. So it might
So
be Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis. I mean, I
I
don't
think
know.
that's where they're going with this, and I don't think this wasn't the plan. You know that I know that
Yeah.
Kevin and Randy was the plan. I was reading it all morning before we came live. I was actually reading it right before before you brought me before the show. I was reading an article about the plan was Randy, Kevin. Now might be Nick Aldis and Randy, according to the reports. So.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll
This
see what
was a
happens.
great
But
segment, though. No matter what, I feel if
yeah,
it's
because
true,
now we're
I
all
feel
curious.
so bad for Kevin Owens. If this is all real, I think it really sucks because it's like 2 weeks before WrestleMania, and now he's not even gonna be on the card. And I know he's devastated. Randy's devastated, but looks like they're gonna do something with Nick Aldis and Randy. So.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the last man standing match.
What a match!
Which was quite interesting, man. Because
What
it
a
was
match!
it was a good match. Like they really beat the crap out of each other. Like, but at the same time, like I'm starting to get tired of seeing Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman.
Repeat after repeat after repeat. This is because they got rid of Bobby Lashley. They got rid of, the big guys. And now they don't have that many big guys to fight Jacob Fatu.
Yep. But clearly,
this is what happens, man. And now they're trying to look for these big guys. Where can they find them? A lot of them are now over in AEW. I mean, besides Aleister Black and maybe Rusev, I think Rusev maybe more than Aleister. I don't think Aleister would fight, Jacob, but Rusev is a big dude, and I can see him fighting Jacob Fatu at some point, maybe.
Well, I mean, I'm curious. I got a feeling that Jacob is just gonna win the championship at Mania. But then, like, what the hell happens to LA Knight? So I'm curious. Curious about that. But but this match was good, and I just kind of feel bad for Strowman because he's just like
a jobber now.
He's like the Big Show.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, he'll just do a job for just about anybody. I mean, like he did a job for Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they're just gonna use him for certain things like that. Clearly, he's being used to, to help Jacob.
Yeah,
and Jacob's going to the moon, like, which is cool.
Oh, yeah.
But let's see, what happens with him because, I think that what's best for him is just to fight Solo at least at this point because Solo is just like. He's coming across like Tangaloa.
Yes,
Straight up. Like that's how Solo is coming across right now. So.
It's really weird, man. You know what I mean? Like it's really weird to see. Well, first of all, I was telling you last time on our show, on the show, man, that this was supposed to be Big Bronson Reed. Another one who got hurt right before WrestleMania. He might be out now. I heard he's coming back very soon. But not in time for WrestleMania. It's gonna be maybe Backlash or maybe even SummerSlam. They're really hoping for SummerSlam. But he got hurt. I think it was December. I think it was. No, wait, it was at War Games. I'm sorry, it was at War Games, and he was out all of December and out all of the what's it called? The oh god, I forgot what it's called. January. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So.
Well, so now the last part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. The very last part of the show. Let's get into it.
All right, man. This was the moment, bro. Well, we forgot to mention, I don't know if you played it earlier. Before this, was it right before or a little bit before? Seth Rollins showed up in a limo. I don't know if we talked about
that segment. Yeah, that's true. We didn't speak on that.
Real quick because
we didn't speak on that.
I wanted to because that was freaking hilarious. So here's Paul Heyman. He's freaking out, right? He's like, oh my God. And he's like, my tribal chief has arrived. And Seth Rollins goes, you're looking for the other Shield guy, aren't you? When he said Shield guy, I went nuts. I freaking lost it, bro. I was like, holy shit. He actually said Shield. Like, what? Wow. And by the way, I'm not sure if you know the history behind the Shield. It was actually CM Punk who actually helped create that whole faction. So, yeah. I went nuts for this whole thing, man. Just when Seth got out of the limo and Paul Heyman was just going like crazy, bro. Awesome. What did you think?
I mean, I thought it was interesting because when Seth Rollins is smiley like that,
yeah,
he's up to something.
Evil, man. He's evil, Seth Rollins.
He's up to something. So I'm very curious as to what's gonna happen.
He was laughing.
What's gonna happen in this
teasing
match?
Paul Heyman so hard, bro. It was the funniest freaking thing. I think might have been the funniest moment of the night, in my opinion. It's because Paul Heyman was like, "Oh my God, Roman's finally here," and it was so. Man, that was good on WWE. The build sucks, but that part was good.
Actually, you know what though? I think this is the beginning of something long because I think this is going to end
with Seth and Roman and Punk
with Seth and just with Seth and Roman.
Okay.
Just with Seth and Roman. Because the thing about Punk,
Seth and Punk thing's done because I don't think that is. I think those two they really hate each other.
No, I think
over
that's
the
something.
Years, and
I think that's something that can always be picked up, like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that can always be done as far as like, because a lot of the stuff between CM Punk and Seth Rollins is just the shit that was said on the internet.
Yes.
And like when people held on to. You know
no,
I mean?
absolutely. Like, and look, they talked shit about each other on different podcasts. That was the interesting part. And it got back to them.
But the thing between Roman and Seth is just starts with the betrayal.
That's way
Shield, deeper. And they can write a story around all of that. And like
that's way deeper, bro. That goes into everything, like you said, the Shield. Seth, knowing about the whole Roman trying to bring Roman Reigns down when he was in the thing. I don't know if you
stupid.
I'm a wrestling encyclopedia, EC. You know this already, man. I have all the facts in my head. Anyway, the whole segment, bro, this whole thing with Seth Roman and Punk, like you said, there's a deeper connection here between Seth and Roman, and I agree with you. There's gonna be some sort of bigger match, maybe steel cage at SummerSlam, maybe last man standing match. I want to see something, but the thing I wanted to bring up was, I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago when Seth and Roman fought, he came out in the Shield vest and everybody went freaking crazy. They were like, holy shit, he's in a Shield vest, and he played the entrance of the Shield just to get in Roman's head. I feel like he could maybe do that again in this case. So, if they do have something more. So, yes, actually, Chris, real quick, look what I'm wearing. We didn't speak on his promo thing. They ran his little commercial, but look what I'm wearing, a Triple H shirt. Yeah, woo! Hall of Fame. Okay, I'm gonna sit down now because I can't stand for very long. But actually, I am wearing a shirt, so there you go. I didn't want to brag or anything, but Chris brought it up, so yeah.
Well,
anyway,
I mean, but yeah, like, because the other thing with this segment, it was just, mind you, they're dangling Paul Heyman.
He sold the hell out of this for me, bro. If it wasn't for Paul Heyman's performance, this whole thing would have been boring as hell, in my opinion.
I mean, look, no, when it comes to acting,
national treasure too, bro. He's national treasure, Hall of Famer himself. So
when it comes to acting and promos and understanding the ring, Paul Heyman knows, man. Paul Heyman is the greatest wrestler of all time.
manager, wrestler,
Like when it comes to
promoter
like
of all time,
this,
EC Dub. EC Dub.
understanding everything, you know what I mean? I think
He
the only other
understands
person
the
that
business well. I agree with you about that. He understands the business. The problem is he didn't understand the business to keep ECW alive. That was the problem. He didn't know how to manage money. When he got, started working for Vince McMahon, he learned, Vince taught him how to manage money well, and that's why he became talent relations and this, that, and the other,
yeah.
and story creative, consultant, and so much stuff, because he actually kind of knew. But with ECW going bankrupt, he didn't know how to manage money at all. So
Well, but anyway, like I think that the long term behind this is that Paul Heyman, who knows what happens, because if Paul Heyman's going to be in CM Punk's corner, right? Who knows
How
what's going to
about
win?
that?
But here's where the storytelling comes behind this, because one thing that Sami Zayn said to Roman Reigns a long time ago is like, look, you're going to lose everything.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's kind of happening right now.
And it did, bro.
I
It
mean,
did.
and-
I was looking at the Facebook thing. I forgot to send it to y'all, but in the group chat, he lost everything. Oh, look, here he is now, man of the hour.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. This is so great. So great. I need it after a fire SmackDown, one of the best SmackDowns I've seen all year. I had to come and, give y'all a couple minutes of time to talk about how good this episode of SmackDown was, how the segments were fire, perhaps to give Vic a bit of a co-host, something like that.
I mean, I thought I was doing pretty well. I mean,
You are.
Up, EC
No, you are. You're doing
EC up.
fantastic, Mad Dog Kelly.
Thank you.
This
Got my
is, but I feel
Triple H
like
shirt on, by the way, for you, so you're welcome.
beautiful. But I feel like this show's become the show between the knows and the you know what I mean. So let's
Sorry about that. We just what happens when we bullshit.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, so I decided to come in and perhaps not know something.
Aren't you another-
I came in late because I'm at work. Hold on, Matt. I came in late because I'm at work. Did y'all already talk about Charlotte and Tiffany?
A long time ago.
Yes, we
Oh man, I wanted to talk about that so much, man. Tiffany crushed Charlotte on the mic.
did. She did.
But it made me.
Charlotte didn't get to speak.
She didn't need to. This made me sold for this match. I was so against this match, not interested at all until this segment. And kudos to Tiffany for going on script and doing what she did, because she flustered Charlotte, and Charlotte's been doing the same thing to her for weeks now. Weeks.
I agree. 100%.
Kudos to Tiffany.
I agree with that. Yes. I need to.
Yeah, right. So Ray Phoenix, right? Ray Phoenix.
Shut up, man.
I know. I saw Ray Phoenix. How was his performance to the two of you?
Great.
I thought it was really good, man.
Ray Phoenix
was
match.
a great
What do you mean?
opponent. I mean, good.
Hold up, Matt. Hold up. Just a second. I can't hear Vic. What are you saying, Vic?
It was a regular Ray Phoenix match, just in a different stage. That's
so he got injured?
No, he didn't get injured. Get out of
here.
here.
You said it was a regular Ray Phoenix match. I thought it has to end with him being injured.
I get what he says. It's because he gets injured all the time. I understand it.
Man, shoe fly, man. Shoe fly.
I mean, if we're being real, didn't he have to give up a title run in AEW because he got injured?
Yes, he did. He did. The more you know, the more you know.
He gave up the TNT title. That's right. That's right. But
See,
I don't think he's the same way.
That shows the problem of AEW, because you said the TNT title. It wasn't even the TNT title. So look at you. Here's the thing.
What was it? Oh, it was a international championship.
Correct, or All Atlantic at the time.
Yeah.
Wow. That's how many titles he holds in WWE. Because I mean, right now they're overcrowded like hell. I don't even know why they added
3 people.
Like, I don't get it. They're overcrowded. They got so many people in catering.
Yep. And they just added 3 people.
You know what though? I think it fits, because look, for at least for each title that's available, because look, the women's Intercontinental and United States Championships, I feel like were needed, and I think that they're helping. They're definitely helping.
Especially Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea Green.
You know what? That's why. Just a second, Mad Dog. That's exactly why SmackDown was good. I didn't have to see Chelsea Green yesterday.
What? She's amazing. What are you talking about?
That's true. She didn't. She wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
And it flowed very well.
Yeah, that's true.
I like Chelsea Green. I'm sorry. I think she's.
But
I
then
mean,
there's going to be
it's fine, Mad Dog. There's nothing wrong with your flaws.
Here's the thing. There's going to be weeks where you don't see Roman Reigns, and then Chelsea Green could do a segment,
and that's when SmackDown's not as good.
What? She's
SmackDown is always on their A game where Roman Reigns. I don't know why he was on Raw. He's not good on Raw. He's good on SmackDown, right? Doesn't fit on Raw. He fits on SmackDown. When he's on that show is clearly the best show of the week. He proved it again tonight. This man, I was talking to Bad Guy Jack about it earlier. Appease me real quick if you can, if you will. This man is the only babyface I've ever seen that's completely healed. Like even Stone Cold was still babyface. He did the right thing, even though he was going out there swearing, doing dirty tactics. Roman is he called these fans stupid yesterday, right? But he's a babyface. He's a babyface. That man is fantastic. That segment was I haven't seen such cinema in months from WWE. That was I got it. That was fantastic segment. I don't know what segment I like better between that segment or the Charlotte and Tiffany. I really was a fan of the Charlotte Tiffany segment. Charlotte was so flustered. I don't see that happen to her that often. When she does, she throws a temper tantrum like she did last night. Temper tantrum.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right. Chris is getting to that age where he's old and want to be heard.
Did you see the Luther Kaiser's response this morning on Twitter?
See, that's the kind of information we need, Mad Dog Kelly. Not Roman Reigns made a bit of WrestleMania last year. So what was it? What is it? What you got? What you got for me?
He basically said, don't come at me or something like that. He used actually a Shawn Michaels clip. Believe it or not, so it was no Shawn Michaels clip.
Kaiser is so happy because Charlotte Flair mentioned his name. That put him more over than he's been like ever in life.
Facts. He really had. I mean, facts.
And 50 knows
it, man. I don't like him.
Like he's. I mean, he got no mic skills. Well, he does have mic skills, but like he's just that. Like he has.
He's talented, but there's not. And he has mic skills. I'm glad you backtrack. I think he does have mic skills, but he doesn't have anything that sets him apart of a oversaturated roster. That roster is too big. I hate to say it. I said it for years. People need to start losing jobs. They have too many people not doing shit.
And they're adding more people. Rusev.
What do you hire Rusev for?
I don't know, but he signed.
Wait, who's the guy that used to come out and announce him?
Aiden English, the TNA lead announcer.
Yes, Ludwig is Aiden English right now. Like he does Gunther's part.
Yeah, really Aiden's not bad either. So yeah, you are. That's a very good comparison. Very good comparison.
I do agree with that.
That's who he is right now. So he needs something to stand out because now hopefully he doesn't end up just running around the indies becoming a Von Villain. You know what I mean? Like the people like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, it was a good show. Anyway, to close this out,
it
was a good show. We all had a good time. So do you have any other just the seconds?
Yeah, just a second. Y'all didn't talk about. First of all, Mad Dog Kelly, this is how I know our sense of humor is different, right? Besides the fact that the three of us, if I was on camera, you'll see is a bar joke waiting to happen. But Mad Dog Kelly was like, hey, that was so funny. Joe, he mentioned the Shield. No, that wasn't funny. Roman coming out and CM Punk saying, I want him in my corner. And Roman said, he loves me, right? That was the funny part, right? He really wanted Paul. And you can tell by the look of Paul Heyman's face, he was going to give him that, sorry, not sorry. But it was hilarious to say, what? I gave you everything. Roman acted like a heel. I thought Seth played this part very well. I thought you could have gotten this segment off even. And I'm glad they had this ironically in Chicago to make sure that CM Punk was going to get cheered more than Roman. But you could not have made this segment any more perfect, any better. I'm invested. I was telling Bad Guy, if I could only afford, because WrestleMania is like $4,000 a night. If I could only afford one WrestleMania night 1 has my money. Give me Jay and Gunther. Give me the triple threat male match. That's the matches I want to see. Those are the matches I'm invested. Charlotte and Tiffany has me also. Hopefully they put them on night 1. Night 2, you give me John Cena versus freaking Cody Rhodes. How boring does that sound right now? How boring has their feud been?
Sucks.
No, I mean John Cena's the new Thanos, bro. I'm telling you.
New Thanos. Make that make sense. Thanos was interesting.
Cody Rhodes is Iron Man, and John Cena's Thanos. He's gonna have to take Cody Rhodes is gonna have to take the title back from John Cena at SummerSlam.
Oh God, I don't want to see this match once.
They're not doing that.
They haven't had a proper build.
You know, right?
They haven't
had a proper build yet.
How can you? John Cena can't do that. You
know Which is why he should never even been involved in this match. They should have just went Punk and freaking Cody Rhodes.
I agree.
He's gonna go get his 17, and then
he could have got his 17 at SummerSlam.
And mind you, people are invested. People are invested in this Cena. Like every Raw,
he's born.
And he
cooked
the hell out of Cody Rhodes twice already. Like,
right,
come on,
right.
bro.
But just remember though the shirts. I do want to mention this.
The shirts, the merch, everything. The last year,
Okay, well, I don't pay attention to merchandise. That's a YouTube thing. I don't pay attention. I pay attention to entertainment. Cena does not entertain me. He comes out there, he looks like he has to take his shit, and then all he does is say, "Oh, you fans." No, you've done it too much. Why don't you address the fact that you sold out to The Rock, who can't be there? Right? So why were you even there?
That's the thing.
He was only there for 3 weeks. We got 2. Here's the thing. We have 2 more Monday Night Raws before WrestleMania. He's not going to be out of one. I'm not invested. Not to mention the fact that they're fighting over the Smackdown title. They're not fighting over the Raw title yet. I have to be subjected to watching this on Raw. That's why Cody Rhodes is coming back next week, because he doesn't have to be on Raw anymore, because John Cena can't make an appearance. Stupid. He should have fought Logan Paul.
He's in a match, though. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But I'm sold over. Go ahead, Vic. I'm sorry.
Nobody's talking about Logan Paul and AJ Styles. That's crazy.
AJ Styles got a fantastic reaction on Monday. I'm not talking about because the build hasn't been as good. It came out of nowhere. Number one, AJ Styles was feuding with Braun Breaker. Then all of a sudden, next week, it was like he was in this lifelong beef with Logan Paul. I didn't understand that. But it's fine because it gets both of them on the card and both of them need to be on the card. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Randy Orton, because Randy Orton needs to be on the card. My theories are
Nick Aldis, right?
Nick Aldis is my number 1 theory. Number 2 is actually Matt Riddle. But
Matt Riddle coming back?
Yeah, number 2 is Matt Riddle. Yeah, because
awesome.
Randy Orton and Kevin Owens has been a tag team pretty much for the last year, right? More or less. They've been in each other's orbit. The person he was doing that before was Matt Riddle, who got let go without any explanation on screen.
And he works in TNA now, doesn't he? Right?
He does some work at MLW or TNA, but let's be real, it's WWE, right? WWE signs says, "Hey, this is what we want to do." Matt Riddle's going to say yes, and then they're going to pay MLW to let him off that contract.
Thanks.
Because MLW is the person he's on a contract for, and they're going to let him out of the contract because they're going to say, "Hey, we're going to beat this contract and give you a few extra zeros." I'm exaggerating, a few extra, but you know what I'm saying? They're going to pay him out. But they need to have. They're not going to have a WrestleMania without having Randy Orton on the card. It's just not going to happen.
What do you think about Rusev or Aleister Black coming in early? Because
I don't need to see him before. I didn't need to see Ray Phoenix. So if you're not going to put him on the card, I don't need to see him. Right? Okay. So why do I have Ray Phoenix when you know he's not going to be on a WrestleMania card? Why do I need to see Aleister Black when I know he's not going to be on a WrestleMania card?
Because of Chicago.
Hold up, man. I can't hear Vic. I need to hear Vic.
In Chicago, he's clearly going to get a pop. And Ray Phoenix, didn't you see the pop that he got last time? He's clearly.
But you said it. You hit the nail on the head. Chicago always gives good pops.
No, but the thing is just that LA Knight didn't get that good pop yesterday. LA
Knight got a great pop. What are you talking about?
Wait, he didn't get it like when he first did his little pointy thing when he was backstage.
They weren't paying attention. They were looking at their phones.
Well, nobody was
in the ring. He did.
No. See what happens is when they're looking when they're backstage segments. When the backstage segments, Chicagoans don't look at their at the screen too much. They look at their phone for the latest murder report.
No fucking man.
No, they don't. Stop lying. I guess the more you know.
It's stupid.
The latest murder report. Okay.
Man. Anyway,
wow,
man, it was good to see Ray Phoenix. I think a lot of people could do that. Plus, Chicago, and mind you, look,
sold out. The merchandise.
Chicago does have a huge Latino market too.
I didn't hear it last night.
I mean, he got
the merchandise sold out, so the mask is sold out now on the Ease website.
You got a major pop. I was actually just hoping to see Penta come out, and
Nah, they're gonna keep them away because people want them to be a tag team, but they can't be a tag team right now.
Why not?
Especially if Penta wins that belt.
Is this something? Is this something with the name?
They want Penta. They think Penta is gonna be their next big star like that, so they want to keep Penta single.
Okay.
Ray is not gonna be the star because he can't last that long.
I mean, look.
That's
as long as they can keep saying "Cero Miedo," I think they'll be good.
That's all he needs. What does Ray have? 911. Look, all I'm saying is, right? My bad. Shate nueve uno. But look.
You said 791.
I did not say nueve.
No, you said siete nueve uno.
No, I did not. No, I did not. Cállate. No. Repita. No.
Oh man.
WrestleMania has been off and on with me. I'm really interested in some of these matches. I am interested in both women's titles matches now. It was just the Women's World Championship. Now it's the WWE Championship as well. The only match I'm not really invested in as a title match is the WWE Championship for the male side. I'm just not invested into that. Not everything needs to be after WrestleMania, but when you debut people before WrestleMania, and if they're hit, then people are going to want them to have a match, and they possibly can't have a match. So it was a little bit disappointing. So now Ray Phoenix is going to be relegated to the Smackdown before WrestleMania.
Right.
We'll see.
But imagine, I know. But imagine if it's the Raw after WrestleMania, and here comes Rusev. It's a little bit better that way.
I agree with that.
Raw after, that makes sense.
All right, I'm going on mute.
For Rusev to come out next week is wild.
I mean, that would be interesting. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, that was the show, everybody.
That was.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, what a great show.
We got a whole bunch of stuff that we do. We got a whole bunch of stuff that we review. We got the Mike Knock show. We got Raw. We got NXT. We got All Elite Women. We got Top 5. Clearly. Once again, SmackDown, the Pack SmackDown Penitentiary, and Collision. Are you going to do Collision today?
Yeah. We'll find somebody. Yeah. Cool. Hopefully, yes.
Cool. So, join us, check us out, get in the chat, holler at us, and until next week, enjoy everything that's going on because honestly, I'm here for it. I don't know about y'all. And Chris always got something to complain about. So, we used to that already. You know what I'm saying? I am a little tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking up that energy that Z was doing last week. So, but it's all good though. It's all good. So, anyway, you guys have a great week.
Bye, guys.